the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double shot of time.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network, as tonight we are here at Gateway for the season finale, and the Elite JoinAPS Cup Series is gonna crown a champion here tonight. Thank you so much for joining me, and in the booth here tonight is none other than the highly esteemed, highly sought after Dave World. Dave, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, KR. Glad I could jump over and join you for tonight's championship race. Nothing better than watching a season wind down and let the hand unfold the way it does. 4 drivers here tonight chasing that championship, KR, and I think we're in for a good treat with Campbell and Frankenfield, Reasoner and Tooker battling it out to the end of this thing.
And speaking of David Tooker, one of our championship contenders, we're going to see if we can't get a quick word in pre-race interview with the 19 machine. David, you got your ears on, bud?
I'm right here, sir. What's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. Championship race here tonight. The 19 turning a very fast practice time. What are you feeling for qualifying and then ultimately your shot at winning this championship here tonight?
Well, don't know if practice is going to be much of a resemblance in qualifying, but if that is the case, we have some speed this weekend, and I'm really excited for this race. I actually just bought the track last night and ran some laps, so to be this fast with only a few laps on this track is, I guess would say, quite impressive for myself, but no, my hopes are held high for this weekend.
Well, you have the support of your teammates. Pro Edge Racing coming out in full force to help you win this championship. What kind of help can you expect from your teammates here tonight?
Let's see here. I guess for some help would be just like being basically my spotter. Let me know where the other chase guys are the playoff. Just that, and guiding me through wrecks or what's going on track. So, but I imagine there's going to be a lot more. I just can't think of it. But they've always been a big support of mine, so hopefully they can be a big supporter one more time for me.
Well, that 19 machine has been fast week in and week out, starting sometimes at the back of the field, but always towards the front when that checkered flag waves. But here tonight, you're going to have to maybe up that a little bit, maybe even have to bring in the race win. What's it going to take for you as far as strategy to pull that off?
First and foremost, obviously we want to be up front when it counts and try to be up front the whole race, because that's where it's going to come down to at the end if it runs green. Staying out of trouble for one. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of more off the top of my head. Just really trying to keep myself in the lead, really. If I can get to the lead and hold it, that's going to be the best strat. There's a lot of fast guys, especially the other championship 3 drivers left besides me. They're really fast tonight, so it's going to be a close one.
All right, man. Well, we're going to let you go here, but before we do, any shout outs, thank yous, wishful thinking you'd like to do here tonight?
Yeah, just this whole elite racing group. They've put in a lot of work behind the scenes to make this really happen for all of us drivers, and can't thank them enough for what they do. And also, I want to thank you for putting on quite a show for the drivers here, showing off our skills. So thank you for always showing up every week and giving it your all in the commentating booth. But and also just this whole Pro Edge racing team. These guys work really hard every week, and we've proven that we have speed. So it's about time we get ourselves a win. Also, this is for Ethan. Ethan Burrell, my teammate. I actually have his dad's name on the side of my car. Lost him to some tragic events, but just know that that's the reason why his name's on my car. It's just for the condolences of the Burrell family. They mean a lot to me, so that's for them.
All right, David, go win that championship out here tonight. Good luck. We'll let you get out for qualifying.
Thank you, buddy.
That is David Tooker from Pro Edge Racing, one of our championship 4 here tonight. Sounds like he is racing with a heavy heart along with Ethan Burrell. So Dave, maybe he can get that win, but before we can crown a champion, we have to get through qualifying.
Absolutely do. And it looks like we've got about 2 or 3 drivers already hitting the track. The 64 of Andrew Rucker coming around to take what I do believe is his first time lap here at Gateway. Not a very busy qualifying with already just under 4 minutes left here to go.
5 minutes total in this qualifying session. Drivers will turn 2 laps to set this starting lineup for a championship race here tonight. And the 64 of Andrew Rucker working his way through 3 and 4. He's going to be the first one that turns in a lap time. Well, I say that, but Chris Jordan was actually the first one to turn in a lap time. Rucker going to move to the top of the speed chart. Chris Jordan in the 58 machine. Right now, he is sitting in second, and we have about 6 other drivers out on track. Dave, who you looking at now?
I'm watching the 7 of Joshua Personette coming off of pit lane. Looks like he's trying to scrub the tires, get a little bit more warmth in them things before he begins his actual qualifying attempt. New tire model on these Cup Series cars, so temperature really does affect the handling and how things work. So we'll have to see if this pays off for the 7, or if Rucker and some of the early runners that just went straight at it are the ones at the top of the board.
Speaking of the top of the board, the 23 machine of Chuck Sweeting has put himself on pole position for the moment. 2 minutes, 25 seconds left here in qualifying. Can anyone top that 23? And Jared Rexing in the 10 to the top of the leaderboard, and he is going to spin out on his second lap, so he will be one and done. The 97 of Levi Rowdy Zielinski out on track now as well. He is coming around to complete his first time lap, throws it into turn 3. This Gateway Speedway has 2 very different corners, an egg-shaped track, if you will, and it really can throw a driver off his rhythm if they are not paying attention. Levi Zielinski good enough for 5th place at the moment. We have a few other drivers out there. Dave, who you watching now?
I've got my eye on one of our championship contenders, driver of the 31, Gerald Campbell, out there making his first time lap here. So maybe he can put himself in a better position to lead a couple laps early when the race starts, maybe get away from the entire field. And to the top of the board goes Campbell.
So Campbell posting his lap time. And with that, guys, we are going to step away for our national anthem, and we'll be back with our starting lineup.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Drivers starting to take to the grid. That means it is time to go through our JoinAPS starting lineup. Row number 1 going to be the 31 of Gerald Campbell and the 15 of Chad Frankenfield. Row 2, the 23 of Chuck Sweeting and the 10 of Jared Rexing. Row 3 will be the 64 of Andrew Rucker and the 97 of Levi Zielinski. Row 4, the 7 of Joshua Personette and the 6 of Logan Shea. Row 5, the 58 of Chris Jordan and the 41 of Dallas Myhan.
Starting row number 6, the 11 of Matthew Weeks and the 3 of Scott Haney. Row number 7, the 37 of Ethan Burrill and the 2 of Josh Robin. Row number 8 here tonight, the 19 of David Tooker and the 28 of Joshua Clark. Row number 9, the 9 of Rusty Capel and the 73 of Michael Goodman. Row number 10, the 87 of Richard Hines and the 32 of Dustin Dewar.
Row 11 will be the 89 of Brent Jones and the 22 of David Westergreen. That will make up our field here tonight. And already we are seeing some issues. David Tooker has not made the call to his grid position. So one of our championship contenders in trouble here early. As the lights are out on the pace car, David Tooker going to be starting this race behind the 8 ball. That's not a good sign, Dave, but the pace car is down and away. Chad Frankenfield, Gerald Campbell gonna start this thing from the front row. Long wait for the green flag, and there it is. Green flag is out, and tonight's championship race is underway as the drivers head off into turn 1. Gerald Campbell, already we got Andrew Rucker sideways into the wall as Gerald Campbell had a good breakaway there. But the 64 machine and David Westergreen meet nose to nose at turn 1. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay. Let's see what happened to the 64 of Andrew Rucker. As the green flag drops, he takes off down on that inside line. The 97 of Levi Zielinski got out of shape as he looked like he had some help from the 6 of Logan Shea. We'll take one more look at this one as the 97 got into the bumper of the 64. Ethan Reisner, a championship driver, involved in this one as well. So 2 championship contenders having trouble early here at Gateway, but Gerald Campbell in the 31 avoiding all of that. So David Tooker finds himself 1 lap down. Ethan Reisner already caught up in an incident. Meanwhile, Gerald Campbell and Chad Frankenfield at the front of this field. What a wild start to the championship race here tonight, Dave.
Absolutely. As you already said, 1 driver, 1 lap down already. I believe Tooker may get lucky. These drivers may choose to come down pit road. He may be able to get a wave around here and get himself back onto the lead lap. It is a very, very long race though, KR. 1.25 miles. That's right. 1.25 mile racetrack. 2 distinctly different corners. So these drivers are going to be tested all night long. 2 of your championship contenders up there in the front where they need to be. 2 find themselves in the back where they don't want to be.
So lights coming out on the pace car here very early as we made it down into turn 1 on the opening lap before we found trouble. Looked like the 6 and the 64 got together there. Andrew Rucker sitting on pit road, being serviced by his pit crew. Ethan Reisner has not come down to work on his car. Now he does hit pit road. So the 86 on pit road. David Tooker is out on track, but he has scored 1 lap down. And I would say that due to the fact that he was not out there before the field went under yellow, he did not get released. I'm not sure what has happened to the 19 machine, but he is starting off on the back foot here in tonight's race, and it does not look like anyone's going to come down pit road, so he will start at the tail end of this field.
Yeah, and it's just a product of it being early too. These drivers just gonna stay out. I mean, they got pretty much to turn 2 before the caution flag flew here, so not a lot of time or heat into those tires. Smart thing to do is probably stay back, especially if you're one of these 2 drivers in the front. You've got a chance to put and keep one of your championship rivals down a lap, keep them trapped very early, make them work for it a little harder. So very smart move, I believe, by Campbell's crew chief as well as Frankenfield's.
So the 31 and the 15 not only running 1 and 2 in the race right now, but 1 and 2 in the championship. Only 4 drivers in this championship race. That is Gerald Campbell, Chad Frankenfield, Ethan Reisner, and David Tooker. And with this early caution, I don't know about you, Dave, but I'd feel a little bit rattled no matter where I was, because I'm all set to get the race going, and I made it down into turn 1 and the yellow flag comes right back out. Now I have to reset myself and do it all over again just as quick as can be.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we all know, even you know it from personal experience on track. I mean, cautions breed cautions. Everybody gets right back up with everybody else. The intensity level picks up because you got to go get it right then. Even though it's a long race, you want to position yourself in the best spot to continue moving forward or leading. So it's especially tricky here at a place like Gateway. This turn number 1 is, in my opinion, a very different turn than any other track that these Cup cars have ran on. It's got a slight bank. It's awkward to me, KR.
Yeah, Gateway is a very unique track. It is a pleasure to learn and master, if you can ever actually master a track. But once you get it down, the rhythm of the track is quite unique. But I'll tell you what, 2 drivers right now looking at, well, clean air in front of them. That's the 31 and the 15. These 2 are set. They are going to be battling all night long. I look forward to the battle that is coming from the 15 and the 31. But let's not forget Ethan Reisner, no stranger from coming from the back. I expect we'll see him inside the top 5 before the end of the night, along with the 19 of David Tooker. Pace car down and away. We get ready to go green flag racing once again. The 31 of Gerald Campbell, another great jump on the start. He is going to lead the 15, hoping for a better chance next time around. Chuck Sweeting in the 23, looking to the inside of the 15. Everyone looking like they're getting through turn 1 just fine this time. But Gerald Campbell in the 31 out front down the backstretch.
He shot out of a cannon on that restart, hit the box, and just took off. Left the entire field behind him, coming around turn 4, back across the line. Half of a second lead over the second place driver, Chad Frankenfield. So KR, that clean air is definitely a good thing to have, but the gap behind you, I think, may be a little bit more important, especially getting down in there into turn 1. Turn 3 here is a little bit different for me. I like the downshift personally. Not sure if you do or any of these drivers are, but things starting to shake out and get underway here.
I will say downshifting really depends on the car, and we'll go on board with these guys. We might see them downshift early on or even later in a run. I don't know how I'd drive a Cup car. I don't think I have ever actually been in the Cup car here at Gateway, so I don't know how I would handle it, because it is such a different corner on each end of the track. But downshifting eats up your tires a little bit faster, so could be a trade-off here. And it is going to take all 160 laps to figure out who we crown as a champion.
Yeah, and I mean, if anybody is going to try the downshifting, it is going to be really, really late in the run when the RPM is already so much lower than what it is, when you've got to woe the car up so much more because you've already ate off those right sides. So we shouldn't see that anytime soon. I almost liken it to Pocono, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, Pocono is considered, as the 3 almost got into Reisner. Scott Haney trying to make his corner as Reisner made the pass going into turn number 1. But Pocono is a oval that you run like a road course. Gateway is very similar to that in how you approach the corners. Checking in on the 19 of David Tooker. He is still the first and only car 1 lap down. Ethan Reisner is running in 13th spot. Gerald Campbell continues to lead. Chad Frankenfield sitting in second. But David Tooker hoping for a caution here to get him back on the lead lap. He is trying to work his way forward. Right now, he is behind the 28 of Joshua Clark. Clark running in 10th place right now. And Clark is a teammate of David Tooker out of the Pro Edge Racing stable. So, early in this race here, how would you handle that, Dave? If you are his teammate and you are in front of him, he catches you, do you let him go?
I would ask him what he wants to do here. Do you want to try to draft together, maybe get up there to the next car a little faster, or do you just want to go by and go after him by yourself or get a push? I would kind of let his spotter, his crew chief kind of dictate what I done. I just wouldn't make a call all by myself. But the 19, I mean, he is being scored down a lap, KR, but he's one of the faster drivers on track so far, and still right now, I believe he was about the 4th fastest on track that last lap. So he's moving his way up through the field. Just a shame that he's already that 1 lap behind.
We go on board with the 15 of Frankenfield using our gyro cam here. And that 15 machine has fallen to 4th place. Chuck Sweeting, Jared Rexing running 2nd and 3rd place in front of the 15. They now set their sights on our race leader, Gerald Campbell. And the 15, we are accustomed to seeing Chad get off to a quick start early on, but here he is dropping spots. He has lost 2 positions, and he is fallen further behind the race leader. So maybe some trouble here for the 15, maybe a little bit of difficulty in getting his way around this track.
And I wonder, is it more of a strategy move as well with this new tire model? You can't abuse them too much because they will blow. Takes some heavy damage and some heavy work to get it to happen, but it can and will. So did he run hard and just gonna ease off for a little bit, let the tires kind of rework themselves, and then go after it again at the end? Or did he just tear those things up as we're working lap number 17 here out of 160 for the Elite JoinAPS Cup Series? And KR, once again, man, appreciate you for bringing me up here tonight. It's gonna be an awesome race.
Gateway is a track that lends itself to very unique situations. And right now we're looking at the 10 of Jared Rexing. He is sitting in 3rd place, following in the tire tracks of the 23 of Chuck Sweeting. And Jared Rexing, we've talked a lot about Jared Rexing, or I have. You haven't been here the entire season. You come in on 3 very important races for the league, and I appreciate that. But Jared Rexing, at the start of the championship races, got eliminated from round 1 due to some bad luck. But then he won the first 2 races in round number 2. And here he is, the championship race. He's sitting in 3rd, so I gotta believe that the rest of the drivers are counting their blessings that he got eliminated in round 1.
Well, I mean, as a driver and a competitor, you always want to put your fiercest competition out of the way first, because then the psychological, that word that I cannot say. It's going to be easier beating guys that you don't think are as tough. So I would definitely be glad if a driver that was out there winning a few races back to back was eliminated from the chase.
Chuck Sweeting in the 23 machine. We're riding on board with him, looking out the back at the 10 of Rexing. Sweeting right now is turning some very quick lap times, just a tick slower than our race leader, that 31 machine of Gerald Campbell. He is off on a torrid pace. He has led every single lap from the drop of the green flag, 20 laps and counting. That 31 machine has championship intentions in mind, and it is going to take a monumental effort to slow down this 31.
Well, I mean, that's the easiest way to win the championship, though, isn't it, KR? Get the pole, walk away from the field, and, I mean, if you're the leader, I mean, where else? I mean, what better way? I mean, it's simple as that.
Yeah, it's very simple to talk about, but I'll tell you what, that 31 has been picture perfect for 21 laps, not setting a tire wrong. Does look like he's got a little bit of a wiggle coming off of turn number 4, but his lap times are still the fastest lap times out on track. So this 31 machine has that clean air. He has the lead, and he is pulling away. He now has a 2.2 second lead over the 23 of Chuck Sweeting.
And there for a second, it looked like Sweeting and Rexing were going to be able to close in just a little bit on the leader. Then within 2 or 3 laps, the tents just begin to pile up, and Campbell has just set sail. And if it was me on the box right now, KR, I'd be telling him just manage it. You got the 2-second gap. Manage that 2-second gap. Don't burn the tires. Hit your lines. Let's just drive this thing to the house.
So the 31 is out front. Our leading championship contender, Chad Frankenfield, sitting in 4th. Ethan Reisner has made it up to 13th place in that 86 machine. He is just in front of the 6 of Logan Shea. And then David Tooker, our final championship driver, he is tucked in behind the 7 of Joshua Personette. He has got around his teammate Josh Clark, but he is 1 lap down. As we look at some of our other drivers out here tonight, the 97 of Levi, Rowdy Zielinski, he is going to round out our top 5, but he has the 2 of Josh Robin tucked in behind him. And Josh Robin, a tough competitor here in the Elite Racing League. And Robin, if I recall correctly, and I need to look at my notes here, Josh Robin yes, sorry, I apologize. Josh Robin won last week at Phoenix. Good grief. If I could read my handwriting, I would have been able to tell you that quite cleanly.
Well, you know, you can't always use crayons to know what it says, KR, but
they taste so good.
They are delicious, aren't they? Especially the red one. It's like fruit punch.
So Josh Robin sitting in 6th place. He is hounding the 97 and Levi Zielinski, trying to break into the top 5. Meanwhile, 7th place is the 11 machine of Matthew Weeks, and David Tooker now is in behind the 11 machine. So on track, Tooker is running 8th car in position, but he is still 1 lap down. So that 19 machine has some speed in the car, but he is digging himself out of this huge hole he is in, and he is going to need help from a caution. David Tooker, his last lap time was a 34.132. Our race leader turning a 33.708, so just a little bit slower than the race leader, and he is dealing with traffic. So that 19 machine looking very solid here tonight. If he can get the break of a caution, he might have something for the rest of the field.
And I've actually had my eye on this 19 of Tooker for about the last 10 laps, KR, and I've watched him just drive up and around a few drivers. After he got by his teammate, he went and got 2 more, make it 3 more cars now. So he would be right there knocking on the door of that top 5. And you got to remember that restart, he started at the rear. So he's driven his way up through the field this entire run. Just imagine if he had started in 6th, what would the gap be? Would there even be a gap between Campbell and Tooker? So Tooker definitely needs that caution flag, but these other drivers don't want to see it happen.
No, they don't. And we're going to check in on a few more drivers out here tonight. The 41 machine of Dallas Myhan, he is sitting in 11th place, just outside the top 10. But the driver he is trying to track down, that is the 87 of Richard Hines. Hines had a great run going last week at Phoenix, and he would love to pick up another top 10 as well. That 87 machine has been here all season long, and he has been getting better week in and week out. You know, Richard Hines changed up his paint scheme a little bit here, swapped the colors that he had from last week to this week, and the 19 of David Tooker down along the inside line there. Don't know if he got a little loose coming off of turn number 2, but looks like he has gathered it in. He's still in front of 7th place driver Matthew Weeks. He does have almost a 4-second gap up to our 6th place running driver. That is the 2 of Josh Robin. And we're already on lap 33. We still have 128 laps to go. Positions aren't changing a whole lot, but Personette has gotten around Weeks. So too does Clark in the 28. So Matthew Weeks had a bad exit off of turn number 2. He's going to lose 2 spots. Personette moving into 7th place, Clark into 8th, and Weeks falling to 9th place. Richard Hines now looking at a chance to capitalize on the broken momentum of the 11 machine. But looks like Matthew Weeks has it sorted, and he is able to keep rolling.
And while all of that action was going down, the 2 of Josh Robin was able to get to the bumper of Levi Zielinski and make the pass on the inside. Walked away from him, now has about a half a second gap between himself and the 97, looking to chase down the 15 of Frankenfield, who fell from the front row, but has maintained that 4th spot since he ended up there.
Robin in the 2 machine trying to make it 2 in a row, cracks the top 5. Now he sets his sights on the 15 of Frankenfield. Chad Frankenfield solidly in 4th place. He has fallen 1.3 seconds behind the 10 of Jared Rexing. And talking to the drivers in my pre-race walk, they all expected around 60 laps of fuel, but they said tires were going to give out before you hit lap 60. And I can tell you, our race leader, the 31 of Gerald Campbell, his best lap of a 32.839, his last lap of a 34.096, so a 1.2 second fall off here. And I, as a driver, I look for about 1.5 second fall off to maybe even 2 seconds, depending on the track, before I hit pit road. So we may see drivers try the short pit strategy here, but the 31 of Campbell has been out front all 36, now make it 37 completed laps.
And KR, we are starting to work ourselves into the dangerous zone here of this green flag run. Tires are going to start giving up. Might have drivers ducking on, trying to split fuel runs, split fuel runs in fuel strategy. But you've also got David Tooker right there running 1 lap down right now. Scott Haney in the 3 is very close to being put down 1 lap, so Tooker gonna have to start racing some of these other tail end drivers as we continue under green flag conditions here at Gateway.
Yeah, this is bad news for David Tooker that Campbell is starting to catch up to the back of the field. Should Campbell start lapping the 3 of Scott Haney, the 32 of Dustin Dewar, that will spell disaster for the 19. He will continue to be 1 lap down. He will lose that lead status or lead car in that 1 lap down category status. But the 32 of Dustin Dewar, right now he is sitting in 17th spot after starting in 19th place. Just in front of him is the 89 of Brent Jones. Brent was having some computer issues, some hardware issues, was unable to compete for a few weeks in a row, but it looks like that 89 machine has got it sorted, and glad to see Brent out here on track, able to finish out the season here with the Elite JoinAPS Cup Series.
And your race leader, the 31 of Gerald Campbell, going by the 3 now down the backstretch into turn number 3. Getting the job done, no problem. Easy peasy on the inside, and Gerald Campbell is putting on a clinic tonight here at Gateway KR. He's making this thing look like it's in his backyard.
Yeah, Campbell has had the race lead since the drop of the green flag, has pulled away. He now has a 3.1 second lead over Chuck Sweeting in the 23 machine. And, you know, Campbell has had these flashes of tremendous runs, and we have seen those be dashed. We saw him at several other tracks lead a whole bunch of laps, but not able to come home with the race win. But here tonight, I have the feeling that Campbell is going to put all of that behind him. That 31 machine is a man on a mission. He is a man of sheer commitment, focus, and hard determination to win this championship.
And I mean, that's what you work for all season long, all year long, is this moment, this race, this time. The schedule comes out and every driver does it. You look at it and I should do good here. Should be good here. Oh, this is gonna be a rough one. You pick your spots and you try to make where you should finish a little bit behind where you do finish, just to get you to this moment right here. And you learn the track and you work the track all season long just for this one race.
Want to check in a little bit further in the field right now. Rounding out your top 10 is the 11 machine of Matthew Weeks. He is just in front of the 41 of Dallas Myhan. Myhan eliminated in round number 2 of the Elite Chase, but he is out here tonight sitting in 11th place. And you know, Dallas Myhan could be one of these drivers that sneaks in and wins a race. You can never count out the 41, but right now he is sitting in 11th place. And I do want to do a quick shout out to YouTube chat. Damon Leininger has checked in, and Damien had an outstanding race going. Ooh, as the 41 gets a little bit loose, but Damien had a rough, or I should say an outstanding race going at ISM Raceway last week, led the most laps, and I thought that he had earned enough points because he ended up finishing in 3rd, but he ended up being 1 point short of being one of our final 4 drivers. And Damien, we wish you were out there, but he's saying that he had some construction going on and unable to race tonight. But Damien, we wish you were here, man, and we look forward to seeing you next week, or I shouldn't say next week, but at the start of next season.
And that's a tough loss right there. I would almost rather lose by or lose out of the final spot in the championship to 10-20 points. 1 point, that's like man, are you like really, I hope somebody out there understands and knows what I mean. Like, really, 1 point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, 1 point is a tough one, and Damian did everything he could to try and make it into the Final Four, but got eliminated. And then here having some construction issues going on around his house, unable to make it here tonight. But thank you so much, Damian, for checking in on the broadcast. We hope you stick around to see who wins this thing. We have had a few drivers start to come down pit road. So green flag pit stops, a possibility here. The 11 of Matthew Weeks has been on and off pit road. He is now 1 lap down in 18th spot. Logan Shea in the 6th, just now coming off of pit road. He is 2 laps down. So we will start to see some green flag pit stops here as we are working lap 50 of 160.
And all of this green flag pit stop cycle is not working out the way that David Tooker was anticipating or hoping for here tonight. He finds himself just, stuck now behind 2 or 3 other cars being scored a lap down. Your leader's still out there running 50 to 51 laps in the book. So, Tooker, man, oh man, it's a long night of racing, KR. We've still got over 100 laps left to go here tonight, but he has got his work cut out for him. We're a third of the way through this thing, and he is still trapped that 1 lap down that he was all the way from lap 1.
Yeah, David Tooker in desperate need of not only 1 caution now, but several cautions. It was as green flag pit stops are underway. Now the first car 1 lap down. That is the 9 of Rusty Capel. You see the 31 of Gerald Campbell getting ready to work his way around the 89 of Brent Jones. Brent diving down to the inside, down the backstretch. Campbell gonna pass him handedly and set sail into turn number 3. And Brent Jones, now the first car 1 lap down. That is going to put David Tooker, he is now 4th car in the 1 lap down category.
And the 23 of Chuck Sweeting, he has hit pit road. So one of your top 4 drivers has decided to hit pit road. We'll see what the gains are here. This is going to give us a little bit of a better judge on how tire strategy may come into play a little bit later, KR. If he's just, gaining tons of time, which I believe he will, so I'm not sure those other front runners are going to want to stay out very long after Sweeting has hit pit road.
Sweeting not the only one on pit road, so too does the 2 of Josh Robin and the 28 of Joshua Clark. They are on pit road. Pit service completed on those cars. They are down and away. They are going to rejoin the race. And when will the 31 of Campbell hit pit road? He did have quite a bit of a lead, so he's going to have some time to play with. A little bit of an advantage when you are that far out in front, but he cannot give up that much time. But keep in mind, big picture racing. He is not racing the rest of the field. He is racing 3 other drivers, Chad Frankenfield, David Tooker, and Ethan Reisner. And speaking of Ethan Reisner, he is looking like he is about ready to go 1 lap down. That 86 machine just in front of the 31 of Gerald Campbell.
And if you're Campbell, you've got a 12 to 13 second, actually longer now, as Frankenfield has hit pit road. So you're about to put your next championship rival down a lap. That he's going to have all 3 of the other drivers 1 lap down by the end of this green flag run right here. This is an absolute just dominating performance by the 31 of Campbell. He's doing amazing out there.
Campbell is going to make the break for pit road. And he hits the access ramp, and now he is on pit road. So the race leader finally brings it in on lap 56. But you have to hit pit road aggressively, maintain pit road speed. You don't want to go over, but you don't want to be under, because you give up so much time during a green flag run. The 31 hits his pit box cleanly. Tires on the right side and left side to be expected here, and Jared Rexing in the 10 is now our new race leader. He has not come down pit road yet. He is going to try and run this thing out as Campbell down and away, going to rejoin the race one lap down. But Jared Rexing in the 10 machine is going to have to pit here in the next few laps because fuel tanks will start running dry.
And something I'm noticing on timing and scoring here, KR, it looks like the 23 of Sweeting was able to get by Campbell through that green flag pit stop there. Sweeting hitting pit road 5 laps earlier than Campbell, and that has got him a pretty good gap, about a almost 3-second gap between himself and Campbell. So that's something to take notice of as well. Maybe write down for a little bit later in the race. 5 laps yielded me about 10 seconds because he was a little bit behind Campbell before that round of pit stops. So that's a big time gain for just 5 laps of tires.
Yeah, the 23 leading all the drivers who have hit pit road. The 10 of Jared Rexing continuing to cycle around. Now he's trying to work his way around the 9 of Rusty Capel. Rusty sitting in 8th place. Now the first car 1 lap down, but the 10 gonna make his break for pit road. So pitting from the race lead, here comes the 10 of Jared Rexing as he gets on the pit road. Everyone gonna try and flash by and get back on the lead lap. The 23 of Chuck Sweeting working his way down the backstretch. When all of this cycles around, the 23 machine will be our race leader. But the race lead now being handed to the 97 of Levi Zielinski. He has not hit pit road just yet. Then the 97 machine staying out, trying to stretch his fuel run as far as possible. And if he can catch a caution here, he will trap several drivers 1 lap down. But that 97 machine giving up a lot of time to Chuck Sweeting and Gerald Campbell.
And I mean, not to beat a dead horse here, KR, but the night that started off wrong for David Tooker just continues to go in that downward spiral. Tooker has not hit pit road yet, and I believe by the time of the green flag pit cycle being over with, I think we're gonna find that 19 being stuck an additional lap down. I think he's gonna end up 2 laps down, and that is going to be a tough hole to climb out of here tonight.
Yeah, that 19 machine not giving up his battle just yet. He continues to stay out there. And I don't know if I would keep running out there. I think if I was in the 1 lap down category, I would continue to try and be the first one on a pit road each time. But that 19 machine, don't let him fool you there, Dave. I have seen Tooker be in dire straits, and all of a sudden he ends up in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a proven driver this season, making it to the final 4. It's just, I mean, KR, we're inching closer and closer to halfway through this race, and he is sitting 1 lap down, yet to hit his pit stop. So that's more than likely going to put him that 2nd lap down, and 2 laps down in 85 laps. That's a tough hole, my man. Tough.
It has been an uphill battle for the 19 of Tooker. Meanwhile, Chuck Sweeting sitting in second place. Levi Zielinski has not hit pit road, so when he pulls down onto pit road, the 23 will assume the race lead. And Sweeting has a 2.2 second lead over Campbell. Campbell will cycle around into second place. So that early pit stop has paid off for the 23. And I'm going to bring it back to the 19, as that is a missed opportunity for the 19 machine, not being one of the first ones on the pit road.
Absolutely. And I mean, he was already that one lap down, but multiple other cars began to be put a lap down, and really running for that caution basically is what Tooker was doing at that point in time. But you got to kind of cut your losses at some point. And I agree 100% as Tooker now hitting pit road that that is a big missed opportunity for one of your championship drivers that was kind of already behind the 8-ball.
4-tire stop for the 19 machine. He will rejoin the race. Now the good news is for the 19, he is going to be on about 15 lap fresher tires, but I don't think he is going to be able to recover the time given up, as the 97 of Levi Zielinski pitting from the race lead. He is down on pit road. That will give over the top spot to Chuck Sweeting.
And I mean, that's an interesting run there from Zielinski. I mean, what was that? 60 plus laps, almost 70, I believe it was, there before he hit pit road. I can't quite remember what the timing and scoring just had, but I mean, even Dustin Dewar is out there with 63 laps at this point in time. Ethan Reasoner with 62 laps. So these drivers' fuel strategy, I mean, tire strategy is all over the place, because we've got about anywhere from 3 to right now a 15 lap difference on when these drivers have pitted.
David Tooker right now battling to get back on the 1 lap down. He is going to make the pass on Sweeting in the 23 machine, so put the 19 1 lap down, and you can see the fresher tires is going to make him a little bit faster, despite the fact that it's only 15 laps. But man, I feel he gave up so much time waiting as long as he did to hit pit road that he will not be able to recover this lost time.
Yeah, I mean, timing and scoring, KR, Gerald Campbell last time by a 33.334 to Tooker's 33.369. So Campbell running just as fast on about 13, 14 lap older tires as Tooker. So it's going to be tough for Tooker to walk away from these front 2 drivers. And I think Campbell's going to dispose of Sweeting within the next 10 laps or so. He has caught up pretty fast and easily here.
Chuck Sweeting leading off of turn number 4, but he is now starting to feel the pressure from the 31 of Campbell. Campbell, our championship leading driver, sitting in second place, wants the race lead back. He is led for 55 laps in total. Chad DeFrankenfield, our second place running championship driver, finds himself in 4th on the track. He is battling with the 10 of Jared Rexing. Rexing to his inside. That is a hard pass to make here at Gateway. That inside lane doesn't really allow you to track out and carry the speed up off the corner, but the 15 here is going to yield to the 10, and Jared Rexing moves into 4th, put Frankenfield in the 15 machine in 5th place.
And while we were watching that battle, Gerald Campbell down to the inside, right up around the 23, back to the point once again here at Gateway Motorsports Park. That fast 31 of Gerald Campbell as he's looking to set sail and already has opened up almost a 1 second lead in KR. I mean, it's a two-pony show at this point. It's these two drivers up front right now for the race win and one for the championship win. They've got almost a 10-second lead from first back to your third place runner, the 10 of Jared Rexing. So, I mean, these two have absolutely set sail.
Tonight's aerial coverage is provided by FRN, powered by Elite. If you would like to catch the next season of the Cup Series on Elite Racing League, be looking for announcements to come from the EliteRacingLeague.com webpage, as they will be moving to FRN, powered by Elite. That 31 machine trying to win this championship, trying to win the final race, being broadcasted here by Turn 3 Racing Network. And we do want to make sure everyone knows that they are moving on to FRN. We hope you all will follow this Elite Racing League as they put on a heck of a show week in and week out. So Dave, we are nearing the halfway point, 5 laps away. Gerald Campbell back to the point. He has led now for, I want to say 60 laps, and it is 60 laps as I look at timing and scoring. The rest of our championship contenders not rising to the challenge. The first half of this race is done and over with. What can we expect from these drivers? What are they going to have to do to up their game here a little bit and present a challenge to this 31? Because so far it has been all Gerald Campbell.
Well, I would suggest maybe going down to the local Teamsters unit or calling the mob boss of the city, because it's going to take some major intervention to dethrone Campbell right now. I mean, there's not much these other championship 3 drivers can do except hope and pray that a caution comes out and gets the field group back together, because they are way behind your race leader, Gerald Campbell. I mean, he came here tonight with a mission, and he is stuck to it, and it's amazing to watch him just drive away the way that he's been able to do.
I do want to check in on the 19 of David Tooker. He is still 1 lap down. He is now the 4th car 1 lap down. But the bigger news is he has passed Ethan Reisner. Reisner in the 86 is now the 4th car in our championship race. So Ethan Reisner running in 15th spot, being 1 lap down. David Tooker has worked his way around the 86 as we have the 7 machine of Joshua Personette in the grass. He is going to get back up to speed and on track. Not sure what happened to the 7 machine, but he is now the first car 1 lap down. But David Tooker running in 14th spot has got around our 15th place driver, Ethan Reisner, and Reisner in danger of going 2 laps down as Campbell is now behind that 86 machine.
Yeah, KR, and I mean, it's just, I mean, it's the pace that Campbell is setting is unbelievable. I mean, only 9 cars left on the lead lap right now, and in Matthew Weeks in that 11 machine, he's getting close to being put down 1 lap, and that's going to only give us 8 left. I mean, he has just walked away, man. He might as well just, yeah. That is, wow. They're going to have to check his car. That's what they're going to have to do, because I'm screaming foul. 'Cause it doesn't. I'm screaming foul, bro. There's what titanium? He's got titanium in the brakes, man.
Oh gosh, titanium in the brakes.
Get him out of here. Yep.
Oh my goodness. All right, Chad Frankenfield, our second place running championship driver. Right now, he finds himself in 4th place. Just behind him is the 2 of Josh Robin. Robin in that 2 machine, trying to work his way forward. He's been in the top 5 for a while now. After sitting outside the top 5, he broke into it and now is tracked down the 15 of Frankenfield. So Robin looking for 4th place here as he tries to close in, and he is just a little bit faster than the 15 machine as he closes in on him. We do have 9 cars on the lead lap so far here tonight. The 11 machine of Matthew Weeks, last car on the lead lap. This race has only been slowed for 1 caution. We have had 4 different lead changes between 4 different drivers, and those lead changes came during green flag pit stops. And we are maybe about 20 laps away before we start seeing some more stops. But if you break it down, we have seen these drivers be able to go 60 plus laps, and with 76 laps to go, we might see drivers hit pit road trying to short pit, and once that fuel window opens to make it to the end of this race, they will hit pit road in hopes that the caution does not come back out.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly to a certain point there, KR. The gain which we saw Sweeting get off of those 5 laps, we figured it was right around the 10-second margin. Was able to keep Campbell behind him for a little bit, but since has given up almost 3 seconds, so that's about a 7-second swing that we're looking at now. And unless you are Sweeting or Rexing trying to pull that undercut, you're gonna have to do it at least 10 to 15 laps before Campbell if you're gonna want to jump in short pit to get the race lead.
Want to check in on Michael Goodman, driver of the 73 machine. Goodman started in 17th place. He has moved his way forward. He is up to 11th. He is stuck between the 97 of Levi Zielinski, who is running 6th, and the 28 of Joshua Clark, who is running in 7th. And Goodman having a good showing here, 1 spot away from a top 10. And if I look at my score sheet here, and I look for Michael Goodman, he has only had 1 top 10 on the season. He would love to add a second one, and he is 1 spot away from that, but he finds himself 19 seconds behind Dallas Myhan in the 41 machine. Ooh, wow. I find it hard to believe, Dave, that we have only been slowed for 1 caution here tonight at Gateway, and that came out as they headed off into turn 1 on the opening lap. But the 31 of Gerald Campbell has been working over this 86 of Ethan Reisner. Reisner has been trying so hard to stay in that 1 lap down status, and Reisner so far has been able to pull it off. He is holding up the 31, trying to do what he can to win this championship, but that 31 looking determined. But he has a 2.7 second gap back to Chuck Sweeting, but more so, he has a 16-second gap behind or in front of our second place championship runner, the 15 of Chad Frankenfield.
Absolutely, and that's the gap that his crew is feeding them. They're not necessarily worried about the race win. They're more concerned about the championship win. But you know, I said it early tonight's broadcast that, I mean, what better way, what easier way to go out there and make sure you win the championship, and other than winning the race. So using a little bit of both strategies, both mentalities. And if you are Campbell, how do you handle Reasoner right now? I mean, he is one of the championship 4. He is holding you up, and looks like he's had enough putting his nose down to the inside trying to make the pass, but Reasoner's gonna be able to get the advantage corner exit, stay in front of that 31. So I mean, what do you do if you're Campbell here, KR? Do you put the bumper to him and risk something happening, something going wrong right there and taking yourself out, or do you, whoa, big moment into the wall at 31? Things getting a little out of sorts for him up there. But what would you do, KR? How would you handle this situation right now?
I'll tell you what, if I'm Gerald Campbell and I'm looking at this 16-second gap between me and Frankenfield, that is my big picture point of view. Yes, I want to win every race I am in, but when you come down to a season-long race, the championship race, and you are one of the 4 drivers in the championship in a winner-take-all situation, you have got to pay attention to the gap that you have behind you to the rest of the field. This 31 machine is sitting in the best position available of all of our championship drivers. He has a 16-second gap. That means I am not in a hurry to pass anybody. If the door opens, I will take it, but I am not going to try and force my way through, and I am not going to worry about running second place to a non-championship driver. So if that 23 of Chuck Sweeting, who is closing in on Gerald Campbell, you can see the 23 in your screenshot there, if he closes up on me and makes the pass on me and then opens the door somehow as he gets a little aggressive with the 86, then I will try and follow through. But until then, that 86 is doing what he needs to do to try and stay in competition for this championship, and I don't want to put myself in a bad position and see it thrown away here, as I have led now almost 80 laps when I cross the start-finish line.
Yeah, I mean, here's another one. I do it so many times in the booth with you. I put my crew chief hat on all the time. Looking at fuel mileage, we've seen this 31 of Campbell make it 60 laps already. We're getting close to that 60 lap remaining mark. So would you expect maybe, let's just get from around Reasoner, get from the hang up and the hold up. Yeah, I'm gonna give up some time, but ideally I'm a half a track ahead of my championship competition. Sure, I'll get passed on pit road, but I'm gonna have much fresher tires, and I can go to the end.
I want to be the first one on pit road for the final run to the checkered flag. Now, you never know when a caution flag is gonna come out, and that will change the dynamic of this race wholeheartedly. But if I can be the first one on pit road, I know I have a huge shot at winning this thing. Not only the race, but winning the championship. As we check in on the 10 machine of Jared Rexing, he's going to work his way around the 6 of Logan Shea. You know, and we have talked a lot about the championship 4 here tonight, but there are on track 18 other drivers. Anything can happen at any lap until the checkered flag falls, and in fact until the white flag falls. And when that white flag falls, we look at seeing this race going without a caution. But until then, I'm going to set myself up as good as possible, and I want to be the first one on pit road so I have the freshest tires and can take full advantage of it.
Absolutely, but with this being a race, KR, where you're not going to get a full 3 runs, you're only going to get 2 full runs and a chopped up third one. When do you make that call? Do you pit sooner than you have to, knowing you got enough to make it to the end? You know what I mean? When is that no longer an option, as the 2 of Josh Robin actually coming to pit road right now? Little bit fast, gets into the grass, gets it back underway, and he's going to hit pit lane this time by.
So the 2 machine of Josh Robin hitting pit road. Little sketchy on the entry. That may cost him some time, but he is one of our first drivers to hit pit road. The fuel window is open to make it from here to the end of the race. And Campbell still dealing with the 86 of Reasoner. He has lost his huge lead over the 23 of Chuck Sweeting, and that 31 machine has got to stay calm. He has got to remain patient in this position, and the 23 of Chuck Sweeting is going to hit pit road. And if I am Campbell, I think I'm going to hit pit road next time around. That will give me some separation between me and the 86. Yes, I might come off in second place, as Sweeting is going to have a better lap, better tires for a lap. And the 31 is going to hit pit road here. But I want to get on those fresh tires and beat my other 3 championship contenders.
Yeah, and I mean, as the race leader, KR, that's something we didn't mention. As the race leader, you can pretty much dictate when everybody else stops, because you know if you run 5 or 6 extra laps than your race leader and he was already gapping you on track, that you were going to give up twice as much time, a ton of time to him. So you almost force the field's hand when you're the leader and come down pit road. This time it was your second place runner that dictated pit stops up front, but the 10 of Rexing staying out, the 15 of Chad Frankenfield, he is staying out as well. They can go at least another 10 to 12 laps on their fuel and tires. So how long will these drivers stay out there hoping for a caution?
You know, that is a very good question. Now that Campbell has hit pit road, when will Frankenfield come? We have not seen the 15 challenge or be in a position to challenge for this championship win. David Tooker, meanwhile, he has moved his way into 10th place. He is still 1 lap down, but he is working his way forward. And if we get a caution, that 19 will not be the free pass, but man, so much up in the air. If timing works out for the 19 and the 2 cars in front of him that are 1 lap down come down pit road and the caution comes out and I happen to be the first car 1 lap down, that 19 machine is going to look like a bat on fire flying out of the depths of the inner circles of hell, because he will be back into this championship race. But this is why I'm a broadcaster. I'm not a crew chief. I'm not a driver. I don't know what to do now if I'm the 19, or even if I'm the 86. As the 31 at Campbell trying to work his way around the 86 here, he is going to pass him. The 23 at Chuck Sweeting right there as well. Campbell has managed to come off of pit road in front of Sweeting. So should this all cycle around, Campbell will be back up on top, but the 23 is right there. He is hounding that 31, putting some pressure on him. But you got to think big picture. Always think big picture. You don't have to win this race to win the championship.
No, but it sure makes things easier. And I was going to say there for a minute, KR, which, I mean, I was still proved wrong, but I said, you know, if you're Campbell, go ahead down pit road, get away from that 86, you know, so you don't have to deal with them. Well, Campbell hits pit road, comes back off just in front of Sweeting, so he's got to deal with Sweeting right there on his gearbox and look through the windshield, and what do you see? That 86 right in front of you again. And it's like deja vu all over again, but with the fresh tires, the much fresher tires, Campbell was able to motor on around, no problems at all. And yeah, when this thing all cycles through, KR, I think he's going to be back on the point unless we get one of those caution flags.
Riding on board with the 10 of Jared Rexing, your race leader. Rexing has been out front of this field for 11 laps in total and counting. He is coming up on his 50th lap since hitting pit road. He is trying to stretch this out. Campbell is 25 seconds behind our race leader, Chuck Sweeting, right there, as well as those two are battling bumper to bumper. The 87 of Richard Hines going to work his way around the 10 machine. Hines finds himself in 12th place. He is now 1 lap down, as he has unlapped himself from 2 laps down now to 1 lap. But the 10 of Rexing really making a bid for the race win. He has not had a shot at beating the 31 in a straight up competition, so now he is trying to win it on strategy, and that 10 really trying to run this out as long as he can in the hopes that he catches a caution, because the 31 and the 23, they have ran enough laps that if the caution comes out, they will hit pit road for 4 tires.
Absolutely. 10 laps on your tires almost anywhere, and you're going to want to come on down and hit pit road. May not on the super speedways, but 10 laps at Gateway, oh yeah, give me fresh tires. 2 laps at Gateway, give me some fresh tires.
David Tooker in the 19 machine, he is on pit road. Ethan Reasoner in the 86, staying out a little bit longer than Tooker. Reasoner right now is in 10th place, 1 lap down. He has not yet hit pit road for what could be his final pit stop. We have 47 laps to go here tonight at Gateway, and these drivers are putting on a heck of a show here tonight in this championship race. Chad Frankenfield is now leading all of our championship drivers, but that 15 machine has not come down pit road. He is giving up a lot of time to Gerald Campbell, who Campbell is only 6.8 seconds behind this 15 machine on the same lap. They are both on the lead lap. So he has given up a ton of time to the 31. But, oh man, I'll tell you, this is why I joined the broadcast booth. I would not want to be in the 15 machine's cockpit or up in his pit stall trying to call this race.
Well, I think at this point in time, KR, the call from the top of that box is going to be a Blue 52 Omaha Hail Mary 1 second to go kind of play here. Gonna be way behind when he finally does hit pit road. Desperate need of a caution for that 15 crew. Desperate need of a caution.
The 15 is going to make his way onto pit road. brings it slowly down to pit road speed. Campbell flashes past, and that it was a pass for position on the track. So Campbell gonna gap this 15 machine by a large margin here. So Frankenfield on pit road. David Tooker has made his pit stop. Ethan Reisner still cycling around. He is in front of our race leader, the 10 of Jared Rexing. And Reisner still in that one lap down situation. He is trying to stay on that one lap down. He is putting in a heck of an effort to do that. The 10 of Rexing gonna hit pit road. Our race leader, he is slowing down to make what could be his final stop of the night.
And I think I'm more than likely gonna say that's gonna be the final stop of tonight. But just as I say that, we've got a load of cars here right with your race leader there. You see the 19 of David Tooker going to the inside, trying to make his way by the 31, put himself only one lap down yet again, and trying to get by the 3. See if he can skate away from the race leader. It's still a long way to go. Big gap for him to make up. And it is, time is running short, down to right at 42 laps left to go here tonight. So, I mean, it's a bad situation for multiple championship contenders.
It's only bad for 3 out of the 4. The 31 of Gerald Campbell has had an outstanding night. He is out front in the race lead and in the championship standings. That 31 machine has led for 87 laps. He is going to lead the most laps in the race here tonight. And he continues to pick him up and lay him down. David Tooker in the 19 machine is trying to pull away from Campbell. He is a little bit faster, but Tooker, it has not gone his way here tonight. Started off in pit lane, has been trapped one lap down this entire race, and that 19 machine though has not given up, but it has not gone his way. Everything pointing towards the 31 of Gerald Campbell. Chad Frankenfield is in 5th place. He is behind our race leader one lap down. He is the first car one lap down, and he is trucking along faster than the 31 machine. So it looks like he will unlap himself here in this lap or the next as he gets a good run off the turn number 2 down the backstretch. Sets sail into turn number 3. He's going to make a move to the inside. Doesn't want to get to the 31. The 31 coming down. Big moment between our two championship contenders running 1 and 2. 1 lap separating these two drivers. And if I'm the 31 machine, oh, that is a tough decision. Do I let the 15 go by or do I try and hold him up? And the 15 is going to answer that question for us. He's going to make the move to the inside down the back stretch. Chad Frankenfield in the 15 machine trying to get back on the lead lap.
And I don't think Campbell had a choice but to move up out of the way. 14 or so lap fresher tires on that 15 machine. So it was only a matter of time before the 31 was going to get past. I would have just gave it up right there. Nice and easy. No need to fight. I mean, you've got almost a full lap on your closest competitor. So go ahead and let him go. Let him chase the carrot, so to speak.
With all of our drivers in the championship, except for Ethan Reisner hitting pit road, we're going to take a quick break, guys. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as Gerald Campbell in the 31 machine continues to lead here at Gateway in the Elite JoinAPS Cup Series finale. And he is setting sail on this field, trying to set his name in the record books as a champion with this ERL league. And he has now a 16-second lead over second place, the 10 of Jared Rexing. And just like that, something has happened to the 23 of Chuck Sweeting. He has disappeared. He is gone behind the wall. Don't know if he has just lost internet connection or what, but Chuck Sweeting, the only driver who has really posed a challenge to the 31 machine, looks like he is out of the race here tonight.
Yeah, unfortunate there for the 23. Was running very, very good up there at one point, leading the race, battling with the gentleman that has just been the pure standard of the field tonight, the 31 of Gerald Campbell. And yeah, not quite sure what happened with Sweeting, but not with us anymore, as Gerald Campbell is beginning to work his way up to some lap traffic once again. And KR house cleaning here tonight. Man, that's a long list of drivers caught a lap down. Matter of fact, we have only got 3 cars left on the lead lap, and Chad Frankenfield running in third. Only a few, maybe 3 to 4 seconds away from being put 1 lap down.
Yeah, Frankenfield in the 15 machine. He is on about 14 lap fresher tires than our race leader, Gerald Campbell. So he is pulling away. He's got a few tenths faster per lap. Last lap around for the 15 machine was a 33.742. Campbell turning a 34.4. So about half a second there per lap on those fresher tires. So he is pulling away from that danger zone of going 1 lap down. But Campbell has been the man of the show. He is going to work his way around the 86 of Ethan Reisner. Reisner now, he is going to find himself 2 laps down in 9th place. That is the pace that the 31 is setting. He has been a man on a mission, and he now has got just 1 driver to deal with on the lead lap, and that is the 15 of Frankenfield. So with Reisner running in 9th, David Tooker in the 19 machine, he is running in 8th place. He is still 1 lap down, 3rd driver in our championship 4, but he has not given up. He has worked his way up into 8th place, and he is 1, maybe 2 cautions away from being back in this championship battle. And with 25 laps to go, those cautions are going to have to come out in a hurry to help out that 19 machine. One driver who doesn't want any cautions, that is the 31 of Gerald Campbell, as he now has an 11.6 second lead over second place driver Jared Rexing.
And KR, listening to everything you were saying, I mean, when's the last time you have heard last man running in the top 10 being scored 2 laps down? When have you said that lately? I mean, the pace is unreal by the 31 and his crew. I'm telling you, they have got to take this car apart, because it does not make sense. It is in a league of its own, my man. It's every single time, lap after lap, it just looks like it's rotating perfectly through the center, rolling over on that right side just like you need it to be when you're laying the power down on corner exit. I mean, everything looks perfect. It almost looks like a slot car out there.
Now that 31 has been on rails all night long. 105 laps total led by this 31. Now make it 106 as he crosses the start finish line. We have 22 laps to go in this 2019-2020 season, and Gerald Campbell has really, he's just got this race to lose. He has got to really now start managing the gap between him and Chad Frankenfield. Don't put yourself in a bad position. If you have to slow down for a lap car, let that lap car dictate you where you go. Do not force an issue, because when you have 29.2 second gap between you and your fellow championship competitor, that is tremendous. When you have 21 laps to go, that 31 machine could give up a ton of time dealing with the lap car. But the good news is Campbell, he's got nobody in front of him right now. Clean track, nothing to worry about except for hitting his marks.
And that's what exactly you want to see in the closing stages of a race, not just the finale, but you want to see that clean track, the clean air on the front end of your car, giving you all the downforce and aero help that you need, and know that you don't have to make any decisions. It's a very quiet time for a handful of laps. But then once we hit the 10 lap to go mark, you're going to start hearing things that maybe aren't there. You're going to start wondering if the tires are going to last, if they're going to stay under you. You start getting worried. And I would think your heartbeat begins to race from that, and then just continues to grow and progress and pound out of your chest, realizing what's happening at that moment in the car, that you're about to win a championship.
We ride on board with the 28 of Joshua Clark as he is trying to track down the 97 of Levi Zielinski. Zielinski in fourth place. He is the first car one lap down. So only 3 cars remain on the lead lap. Clark in fifth. Fourth place is the 97 of Zielinski. And Levi Zielinski started in sixth, has had a solid race here all night long. But to say I finished in fourth, 1 lap down, just goes to show what kind of pace that 31 of Gerald Campbell has set here tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, KR, I want to say something real quick to all the fans and anybody out there watching that, I hate to keep going back to your race leader of Campbell and talking about what a big lead he has and how it's all his to lose and to throw away. But I mean, when you put on a performance like this, I mean, what else? I mean, what bigger thing, KR, is going on track right now than this man just absolutely hammering down lap after lap? I mean, it's back like when Richard Petty won a race, I believe, and had the entire field a lap down. I mean, it's unprecedented. It's a big time thing to dominate a race, especially a long race like this one at a tough track, the way that this 31 has been able to do tonight.
Yeah, Campbell has had a race for the ages. That 31 machine has not set a tire wrong all night long. And what a night to do it on. Championship night, a season hanging in the balance. And this 31 has risen to the challenge, or risen? Risen. Yes, correct English here,
Yes,
KR.
yes.
Risen
Definitely
to
risen,
the
definitely.
challenge. He has answered the call and responded in dramatic fashion. check in on the 19 of David Tooker. He has made his way up into 7th place. That is not going to be good enough for a championship run, but that 19, with what has happened to him here tonight, starting off on the wrong foot, he has continued to battle his way forward, and now he is into 7th place. Still our 3rd driver in the championship. Our 4th driver, Ethan Reisner, riding around right now in 12th place. He is 3 laps down, so the 86 all but eliminated from championship contention. But sitting in 12th, having a final race here on Turn 3 Racing Network, making a good showing of it. That 86 machine continuing to drive out there, hoping that he can catch a few lucky breaks. But right now he is our 4th place driver in the championship, as he is in 12th position. Frankenfield in the 15 machine, he is sitting in 3rd place on track, 2nd place in our championship standings, and he is 29 and a half seconds behind our race leader, Gerald Campbell. And with 12 laps to go, Campbell continues to pick him up and lay him down. This race drawing to a close very quickly here.
I seriously don't know what to say here, KR. I mean, this is unreal. Just almost the entire field. And it hasn't been that there was a ton of accidents, a ton of cautions, a ton of cars put out of tonight's race. He has just been that good, that on point, lap after lap. I mean, out of the 23 cars that started tonight's race, we still have right at the 18, 19 cars still running on track. So, I mean, he has just picked it up and laid it down tonight, just flexing muscles and everything else you can think of. I mean, this man's in another zip code. I think he already took the checkered flag. We just hadn't realized it.
Richard Hines in the 87 machine right now, he is in 6th place. He is trying to get a 2nd top 5 on the season. Right now, he is 4 seconds behind Josh Clark. Clark rounding out your top 5 for the moment. That 28 machine out here to help support his teammate David Tooker. That 28 leading the charge for Pro Edge Racing drivers. And I'll tell you what, Clark has been one of these drivers I have had a pleasure of watching all season long. That 28 machine has been a stellar competitor, and he is right now in 5th place, 1 lap down. But with 8 laps to go in the season, man, I'm starting to realize that this season's coming to a close, and Gerald Campbell is putting on the race of the year for sure, and what a time to do it.
Absolutely in agreement with you, KR. I mean, I keep going back to it almost comment after comment. I mean, it's happening right here before your eyes. I mean, dominating tonight. 121 laps in the book. It doesn't look like anybody's going to take any more laps away from him. So he's going to lead upwards of, I don't know, 135
almost 130
laps.
Almost 130 laps.
That's nutso. That's nutso. Alien type stuff right there. If I've witnessed some alien racers or times on iRacing, this one right here in the Elite JoinAPS Cup Series is one of them. Gerald Campbell has just, I mean, it's a knockout, round 1. I mean, from the go, he's led this thing, only giving up the race lead during green flag pit cycles. Other than that, he has been your race leader. 5 laps left to go, KR, and we're going to crown a champion here in the Elite Join APS Cup Series.
That we are. And to put things in perspective, the 2 machine, Josh Robin, last week's race winner, right now he is running in 10th place, 2 laps down. Dallas Myhan in 9th place, also 2 laps down. That is unheard of here with the Elite Racing League, to have a driver in the top 10 finish 2 laps down. Matthew Weeks in the 11 machine, right now he is in 8th place. Checking in on our 3rd place driver in the championship standings, that is David Tooker. He has made his way up to 7th. Richard Hines sitting in 6th place in that 87 machine, 1 lap down. Joshua Clark in the 28 as he works his way through 3 and 4. Jared Rexing in the 10 machine gonna hit pit road. And the first car 1 lap down in 4th place with 3 laps to go. That is Levi Zielinski, and he is gonna pull off a solid top 5 finish here. And you know, Levi Zielinski is no slouch. He has 3 top 10s on the season and 1 top 5. He's looking to add another top 5 here tonight. And man, oh man, that just goes to show you just how fast this 31 machine has been.
And we are looking now at, well, let's call it 1.5 laps left to go here tonight from Gateway Motorsports Park. 160 laps scheduled distance, unless we get a caution flag here in the next half a second, maybe 3 seconds at the most, exaggerating a little bit there, KR, but white flag now in the air. That's gonna be all she wrote. Final time into 1 and 2, your race leader, Gerald Campbell.
Final time into 1 and 2, final lap of the season. Gerald Campbell, half a lap away from becoming your Elite Join APS Cup Series champion, working his way through 3 and 4. The 11 of Matthew Weeks, the only car in front of him. He has time to spare. Light bulbs flash, cameras flashing. The 31 of Gerald Campbell is gonna be your race winner and your champion here tonight.
Job well done. Championship deserved. Campbell, great show, great race. Way to end the season.
Gerald Campbell came out swinging, and he went all 12 rounds, beating down the competition here tonight. Chad Frankenfield gonna bring it home in 2nd place in the race and the championship, and rounding out your top 3 podium finishing drivers is gonna be the 10 of Jared Rexing. Reasoner in the 86 gonna give a love tap to the 31 of Campbell. Levi Zielinski throwing up some shade in front of the 31. Man, oh man. Oh goodness. As the 73 of Michael Goodman gives him a love tap from way back in left field. But Gerald Campbell gonna start his celebration. David Tooker, burn it down, man. Maybe not the race you wanted, but still a outstanding drive by the 19 machine to bring it home in 7th place. As the 86 of Ethan Reasoner gonna finish 4th in the championship. He's gonna light them up. He's gonna celebrate along with the 31 on the front stretch. Man, oh man, what a season. What a race we had here tonight at Gateway. So guys, we are going to step away from the microphone for a moment, and try and get our championship winning driver up here in the broadcast booth so we can get a word in with him. No one go anywhere, stick around. This is going to be a heck of a post-race show. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we wait for our drivers to get up into the broadcast booth. Let's go ahead and talk with the driver who finished in 7th place here tonight, 3rd place in the championship, and that is none other than the 19 machine of David Tooker. David, you got your ears on, bud?
I got you.
Well, David, your race started off on the back foot, but you battled back, made it all the way up into 7th place. Tell us a little bit about tonight.
Yeah, it's just some unfortunate luck, really. To start off, I couldn't even run a qualifying. I was alt tab for too long, and it kicked me out of the session, so I had to restart, basically. Restart iRacing, and I happened to come on track when the first caution came out. So I started off already a lap down, so that wasn't great. But I kept my head in it, and I kept fighting, and passed like over, I guess, like 40 cars, I would say, if I had to guess, probably close to 30, 40 cars. So to start from literally dead last to finish 7th, I'll take it, I guess.
Well, that 19 machine worked its way forward all night long, and of all the nights to have an issue, tonight was not the one you wanted, but you came home in 7th place, 3rd in the championship. I feel you can still hang your hat on the fact that you overcame quite a bit to end up where you did.
Oh yeah, definitely. To really start off this season, I didn't really have a lot of expectations going in. So to be in the championship 4 was something that I didn't really think was going to happen, really. I wasn't really that comfortable to start off the season and couldn't get any wins, but I came pretty close a few times. But to be on the stage was more of an honor than anything. So I guess I can hang my hat high.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on bringing it home, 3rd place in the championship. And man, I'll tell you, it has been a wild night here at Gateway. Could you ever imagine that there would only be one caution here at Gateway?
You know, not really. This track is usually it's one of the most harder tracks to drive. It's really close racing. There's not much room to, go side by side, especially through 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is really tight. So trying to get 2 or 3 cars down in there it's a recipe for disaster. But our guys kept it clean, and I can't hate them for that. But you know, a caution would have been great, but it is what it is.
All right, man. Final time here on turn 3. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Yeah, just this whole organization, this elite group. These guys are just some of the best out there, really. They do a lot to get us out here on the track every race or every week, and give us a platform to perform on. And just want to thank those guys for that. Also, like I said earlier, I want to thank you for always coming out and commentating on our races. Like you're very underappreciated, and I know you probably don't get much love for that, but I appreciate what you do for us. And just the whole Pro-Edge team. These guys, they were with me the entire night, trying to keep me in the game and putting me in the best situations possible. My teammate, actually Ethan Burrell, came in and was my spotter for most of the race, so big shout out to him. And sad I couldn't perform as good as he'd wanted. I know I'm representing the Burrell family with his dad's name on the side of my car, but I really wanted a lot more for them because he's like my brother. That guy's, I've known him for so long, so I really wanted to get this done for him, but unfortunately it didn't end up that way.
All right, man. Well, David, congratulations on this season, man. It has been an honor to watch you out there. 3rd place here tonight, overcoming adversity. Nice job tonight.
Thank you, man.
That is our 3rd place finisher in the championship. But now let's move on to our 2nd place finisher in the championship, and that is the driver of the 15 machine, none other than Chad Frankenfield, who finished 2nd in the race here tonight as well. Chad, congratulations on the 2nd place. Tell us a little bit about your race out there tonight.
I mean, there's not much to say. It really was just underwhelming, and with that kind of performance, I really probably didn't even deserve to be in the Final Four. It was rough, but yeah, it sucks. Another championship race with nothing to show for it. Another dominant season, and again, nothing to show for it. That's 3 seasons in a row between 2 Xfinity, and then obviously this Cup Series where we dominated the points, top in every stat category, and then get to the championship race, and we just, something happens, or we're just not where we need to be, and then the whole season just wasted. So I guess that's just the way it goes with this format, and yeah, that's really it.
Well, the 15 has had a dominating season, bringing it home 2nd in the championship. I understand how you're feeling, a little let down because of everything that went down, but man, there's still so much you can hang your hat on throughout the season. If you could, what are some of the highlights you've seen here with this Elite Racing League on Wednesday night?
I mean, the competition's really good. That goes without saying. I mean, there's just so many competitors. Everything's top notch with it. So obviously, again, you got to be on top of your game all season to be there at the end. And obviously whoever wins the championship is going to have to earn it. And looking forward to the future, obviously.
All right, Chad. Well, again, congratulations on 2nd place in the standings and 2nd place in the race. But a big announcement for the next season of the Elite Racing League Cup Series. Where can this following of the league find the broadcast for next season?
It'll be on network powered by Elite. Obviously, thanks to you and everybody at Turn 3 for getting broadcasting the season for us. Obviously, when we have a chance to partner with a broadcasting company and really kind of go next level with our stuff, it kind of helps things. So obviously, I appreciate you guys doing everything you did for us this season, and obviously looking forward to next.
All right, Chad. Well, good luck next season. And with that competitor that you are, I expect to see you as a champion crowned before too much longer. And this disappointment that you're feeling will be washed away, bud.
Yep, thanks.
That was Chad Frankenfield finishing second here tonight in the race and the championship. But now let's move on to our fourth place finisher in the championship, and that is none other than the driver of the 86 machine, a fellow Royals fan, Ethan Reisner. Ethan, how you doing tonight?
I'm feeling great.
Well, Ethan, tell us a little bit about your race here tonight. The season draws to a close here at Gateway. One race to win it all, and you come home in fourth place here tonight. What went on out there?
I was just a little bit too slow on the short run. I worked really hard to preserve my tires, but Gerald was just in his own zip code. He did a great job. He was fast throughout the entire run. My gamble was to try to trap some guys a lap down during the green flag pit cycle. I stayed out as long as I possibly could each run, hoping that maybe I would get myself back on the lead lap. Because remember, that very first corner I was in the accident, I did get a tiny bit of engine damage out of that, but I had most of the damage repaired before we went back green. I don't think the damage ultimately cost me anything, but I just wasn't very smooth, and I was sliding a lot in that very first stint. As soon as the sun went down and the track rubbered up, I felt comfortable again. But it was too late. I'd given up so much time to Gerald that I had no chance to even get back on the lead lap without getting lucky with a bunch of cautions right at the right time at the end. He set the pace. He was perfect the entire run. And I just couldn't keep up with those guys when the sun was still out. It was just too slippery.
Well, man, Ethan, you have been a pleasure to watch. And as a fellow member here in the Midwest, I've been rooting for you race in and race out. And I don't know about you, but the big news in this area is the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. What are your feelings on that?
It was so strange seeing them celebrate the AFC Championship because they literally haven't done that in 50 years. There's no other video of them going to a Super Bowl 10, 20 years ago when the picture was still full screen or anything like that. They literally haven't been to a Super Bowl in 50 years. And when you have somebody like Patrick Mahomes, you have to capitalize on it. They need to try to get this Super Bowl win before they have to pay him. There's a lot of rumor about them giving Patrick a huge contract during this next offseason. It could be $40+ million per year. That's going to make it more difficult to keep good players on defense. So I really hope that they can pull it off Sunday. If they don't, I hope it's at least a close competitive game and that it isn't a blowout. It's more fun to have a good Super Bowl than to get just plain old blown out in the first quarter like the Seahawks did to the Broncos about 6 years ago. I'm fired out. My profile picture on Discord is Kermit Mahomes. It's Kermit the Frog on a Patrick Mahomes jersey. I've got a bunch of memes ready for the Super Bowl. I've got a bunch of stuff that I edited myself. It's going to be really fun, and I'm really looking forward to that.
All right, man. Well, it is so cool to run across a fellow Kansas Cityan and, you know, someone in my area. So I had to throw that out there. But tonight's race, you bring it home fourth in the championship. I know we segued away from racing to talk about the Chiefs, but big news for us here in this area. And man, what a season it was. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of it.
You're very welcome. You did a great job with the broadcasting, and whatever the future holds for you in broadcasting or whatever you decide to do, good luck with that. And I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
That is Ethan Reisner, driver of the 86. He is going to bring it home fourth in the championship. But now it is time to talk to our championship winner, not only the championship, but the race. And that is none other than Mr. Gerald Campbell. Campbell, you put on a heck of a show here tonight. Man, oh man, what a race to cap off this season.
Oh, yeah. I finally won a championship. Oh, yes, it feels really good. It feels wonderful actually. And to do it in the style that I did it, just fantastic. I'm over and above right now. This is such a great feeling to actually be able to come out here and finally after so many tries and so many different leagues and so many final fours and so many disappointments, to come out and race with a wonderful group at this series and to race against these hard competitors and to do it in that fashion. It's more than I could have hoped for. It was more than what I expected, and just a wonderful wonderful night for me.
Man, I'll tell you what, that 31 machine was on rails here tonight. And I made mention we had seen you have a dominating performance before and then bad luck befell you. But tonight felt entirely different. It felt like you were a man on a mission, that this was your sole focus, almost like you had made a deal with the devil, committed your firstborn child, your secondborn, and your thirdborn. Tonight went so perfect for you that it was just something to watch, because I really can't remember the last time I had seen a race like this.
I I said it before this race is I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna go out every single lap. I'm gonna go out and try to go about making it the fastest lap every single lap. I'm gonna go out and try to get the pole, lead practice. I want to show that I am to be feared, and that's what I was trying to go out and do. Is I didn't want to give up the lead. I didn't want to go about making any mistakes out on the track. I wanted to lap everyone to show that I didn't just fall into the final four. I wanted to show that uh, I was meant to be in the final four. I felt bad for Reisner last week, where he could have won that, and he should have probably won that Phoenix race, but just bad luck befell him, and I got lucky to get into the final four just by 2 points, 2 points, and I was like, I got to go out there and make sure it wasn't just a fluke, and make sure I didn't waste that spot. Wanted to go out there and make it without a doubt that no one was going to beat me tonight. And I practiced and I practiced, and my teammates at PRM helped me throughout the whole time. They didn't have anything in this race. They weren't in contention. Went out and helped me with practices and everything like that. Um, and it's just a it's just such a great night that this could have happened. And man, I'm just can't believe I finally won a championship.
Well, the 31 etches its number into the record books of Elite Racing League as a champion. And we talked about it a ton during the broadcast, just how dominating of a performance you put in out here. And I got to tell you, man, it was something to see for sure. I can't recall the last time I saw a championship race unfold in such a dominating fashion.
I mean, I was so thrilled to have a long green flag run. I made sure that my practice sessions that I was going there on the long runs. I have lost so many races since this new tire model came out. I got thrown a hard curveball with this tire model. It was very difficult for me to understand it, and understand how to go about getting these lap times that can win you the races on the long haul. I just it I focused so hard on making sure every single lap I knew how to make sure that these tires weren't going to fall off. that I was going to be able to run consistent lap times, lap after lap after lap after lap, and I it just came together. It came all together for tonight, and I just you can't ask for more than that. It's just such an incredible unfolding events. I'm sure a lot of people were probably hoping for a caution to see what it would have been at the end. I guarantee you, caution would have came out, it wouldn't have changed it. I would have gone as hard as I possibly can to win it, no matter what the circumstances, no matter who was going to be in front of me. I was not going to be denied tonight.
Well, man, it all came together for you. What an outstanding race, outstanding season, and you can now hang your hat on a championship. Congratulations on that. Any final shout outs, thank yous that you would like to give?
Yes, again, PRM, great teammates. My wife, always letting me get on here. I come straight from work, get onto here, and spend no time with her. And she is such an understanding person that she allows me to be able to do this, and she doesn't hate my guts. So it's I got such amazing people, not only as teammates but as a partner in my life that I'm thrilled to have. My parents that watch the races, VFW that I have on my cars, proudly representing the veterans of foreign wars and the vets around the world. Thank you for standing up for us, fighting for our freedom. Um, they're more dominating than the performance I had tonight. They are what allows me to be able to get on here and do it. Uh, thank, thank you for this series because it produces some great racing and some of the best competitors I've raced against. And thank you guys for doing a great job of interviewing and covering this. And I'm gonna keep this into a special place with me. Sure.
All right, that is Gerald Campbell, your champion of the Elite Racing Join APS Cup Series. Congratulations, man. Nice job on the season.
I'm gonna enjoy this one tonight, but I guarantee you I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna try to get more wins. I'm gonna try to do more dominating performances next year. Can't.
All right, that is Gerald Campbell, your champion. And man, oh man, what a season it was that he could hang his hat on here tonight. He got it done in outstanding fashion. Guys, that is gonna wrap it up for us here at Turn 3 Racing Network. You heard it from Chad Campbell. The Elite Racing League gonna move on to FRN, powered by Elite. They're gonna move on to a different broadcasting channel. Make sure you hit up the EliteRacingLeague.com to find out all the information you can to see where they are headed. And until I see you all again, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your season. Congratulations to our championship winner. That is none other than the 31 of Gerald Campbell. And until I see you guys next time, oh man, I can't wait. Y'all have a good night, and thank you so much for joining me here tonight.